Is Nia Jax going to AEW? We're going to talk about that in just a little bit, but the first topic for today's news video is some Impact news. Lince Dorado has been announced for Impact Wrestling Sacrifice. Now, if you guys don't know, this is going to be taking place in about 4 days live on Impact Plus or Fight TV, or even if you are a part of the Impact Wrestling Ultimate Insiders program on YouTube, you'll be able to watch this X-Division match. This is going to be for the X-Division Championship, and it's going to be Trey Miguel, the current champion, against Lince Dorado, which, as you guys know, used to work for WWE, making a name, known for himself, yet again, outside of the company. Now, this is actually pretty exciting news. If you guys watch Impact Wrestling, their X Division has been on absolute fire lately, and Trey Miguel and Lince Dorado are probably going to be dropping some absolute fire in this match. So I would expect some very big things coming from this match. But I am very curious to see what else happens going forward with Lince Dorado. Obviously, we know that Lince Dorado is working for a variety of promotions right now. Doesn't seem like he is exclusively locked down anywhere. Could this lead to a deal where he finally signs with Impact? I know that was something that was rumored a while ago, but I don't want to sit there and speculate on any deals, because one thing that Impact has been doing has been they've been bringing people in for some of these one-time matchups, or, set of tapings, I should say. So if Impact does decide to move forward with Lince Dorado, I think it would be a good idea. Of course, Lince Dorado, maybe potentially to ROH could be a good idea. Lince Dorado, even in AEW. I mean, there's a lot of great places for Lince Dorado, but I am curious to see how Impact chooses to move forward. I think that's going to be really a big focal point for Impact, because they are bringing people in, again, kind of like, 1 or 2 tapings or whatever it may be, and then after that we don't see them for a while. So maybe Impact could be making some changes here. Keep in mind, there are some big rumors in regards to changes with Impact Wrestling, and it actually stems with their presentation and some of the big things that overall viewing experience that people actually have with Impact, they are expected to change. Some stuff that's been floated around on the internet was that perhaps a new intro, new stage design, things like that, which if that's the case, I think that could be really cool for Impact to change things up. They've been delivering a really good product, but ultimately time will tell. We'll see what happens. I'll keep you guys updated along the way. I want to turn our attention to our next topic, which is WWE's Hall of Fame. Obviously, I have been talking a lot about the Hall of Fame this year, and that is because WWE and Hall of Fame, there's tons of news surrounding this, and I think it's actually a good thing for the WWE. So if you guys don't know, WWE historically doesn't induct referees into the Hall of Fame this year, and actually I spoke about it in an earlier video with Andy Kaufman going into the WWE Hall of Fame, but this year WWE could be potentially inducting a referee. So according to PW Insider Elite, there has been talk that a referee will be honored this time. The report does not name the potential inductee, although it is said that they are widely beloved in the industry. Now, obviously, there's a lot of people who are being mentioned here, especially when it comes to WWE. Historically speaking, a lot of people speak very highly of Earl Hebner, Mike Chioda, Jimmy Corderas, Charles Robinson. There's so many people that have reffed for the WWE, which if WWE is serious about inducting a referee into the Hall of Fame, there's definitely a few that you can choose, which will be interesting to see WWE do this in the long run, because referees typically don't get the respect that they deserve, especially if you've watched WWE in the last few years. It's very rare that a referee's name was even brought to the presentation of the show. But now Michael Cole, Wade Barrett, and Corey Graves, and anybody who works in commentary these days, they are name dropping the referees more often than normal. And it just appears to me that WWE, maybe this is something that Triple H has done, but it just appears to me that WWE has kind of been showing more love to referees as of late. Now, there is still a huge difference. In AEW, referees have their own characters and stuff. In WWE, they don't necessarily have that. But I think referees are the most important job in a wrestling match, to be honest with you. I think they have one of the most important roles next to the wrestlers, because when you look at a wrestling match, the commentators are telling the story. So if you're watching from home, it's up to the commentators to sell you how good this match is actually, going down. The referee, and the cadence of being able to count a pin or calling a DQ or whatever it may be, it could ultimately be like their interactions could ultimately help a bad guy get over as a heel, and it could help a babyface get over as a babyface. So there's just a lot of good things with referees. I expect to see WWE show more love. Once we know who gets inducted, I'll keep you guys updated. But now we got to talk about the grand finale of today's video, and that is Nia Jax going to AEW. Now, nothing has actually been confirmed at this time, but of course we got to talk about this because Nia Jax at the K&S virtual signing event was asked if she would consider joining AEW, and she spoke about this, and she says, I actually would. I keep getting asked that question, and I usually say no, but I actually would. I'm really good friends with Saraya. I love what she's doing there. I also recently met Nyla Rose. It would be kind of cool and add something different. Now, here's the thing. We saw Nia Jax return to WWE in the number 30th slot of the Royal Rumble this year for the women. Then WWE announced new merchandise for Nia Jax, and then we haven't seen Nia Jax back on WWE television. Now she is publicly talking about joining AEW, potentially joining AEW, and I think that is a very interesting thing for Nia Jax to do, considering that a lot of people were under the belief that she might be back in WWE. Now, whether she's actually signed to WWE or not, I would pretty much speculate at this point that that's not the case. WWE brought her in for the Royal Rumble. It was probably a good payday for Nia Jax to come back. I don't really see the purpose of them bringing Nia Jax, especially at the 30th slot, if she wasn't returning to the company. But again, here we are. It's March 20th, and at this point, it doesn't appear that Nia Jax is in the company. Now, if you're AEW, do you sign somebody like Nia Jax? And when I say somebody like Nia Jax, I'm talking about somebody who is not necessarily the most skilled in the ring as a pro wrestler. Nia Jax, I see the IWC and I see the internet and how they talk about Nia Jax and her in-ring ability, and a lot of people are often negative towards it. And I don't think Nia Jax is the most experienced wrestler, but the thing is, Nia Jax did a really good job in her role in WWE, and I think anybody who tries to disagree with that just comes off as a hater. At the end of the day, I think the role that WWE had her in was she did exactly what was needed. She fulfilled the role, she did it the right way, and that's it. AEW can bring somebody like that, and I'm sure it would help AEW in the sense of just maybe perhaps like having credibility, right? Nia Jax is somebody who could have, and I mean this in like a good way for AEW. Nia Jax has a little bit of credibility now outside of wrestling. So the fact that you could bring her in, it brings even more attention to the women's division. You have some feuds that you can build and some things that you can do. It does make sense for AEW in this case to bring her in. In terms of being the best in the ring, yeah, maybe she's not the best. That's AEW's responsibility if they're going to invest in her to help her get better in the ring. But you put her in the ring with some of the women up there, you could build some big feuds. Again, I see a lot of people are probably going to throw shade and hate this, absolutely, and that's fine. You're entitled to your opinion, but just keep in mind, AEW's job right now is to get more eyes on the product and to be able to reach a wider audience. That's WWE's goal. That's AEW's goal. And I think the more people that you could bring into your company that brings more eyes to the product can help. Is Nia Jax the biggest draw? I'm not saying she is. But what I'm saying is she definitely reaches a different core demographic than AEW typically does. And if you're trying to improve your women's division, it could make a lot of sense. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below.